Hey guys, and welcome back to Mike's Custom Garage. But today's video, we're going to jump back on the Nova. We're going to try to put the quarter panel on. It's a step-by-step process. The door is, ready to go back on, but we're going to work on the quarter panel. Before I put the quarter panel on, I want to put the trunk back on. And what I want to do is use the trunk just to guide the quarter where it needs to be. I don't want to get no funky gaps. I want to make sure the gaps are good before I take it off the old quarter so the new quarter goes on in the same place. Now, there's a few things I'm going to need to do to put the quarter on. I got to pull the seats out. I want to get all the interior out. And I'll say I want to put the trunk lid back on, but I need to prime that. So before we jump into this, we're going to jump back. We're going to put some primer on the trunk lid, get the epoxy on that, let that set up and dry. And while that's dry, I'm going to pull the interior out of this, get the seats all out of it so we don't have to worry about fires and burning any of the upholstery on the inside. As far as the quarter, I doubt I'm going to put the full quarter on. Reason being, I don't want to get into the headliner. That's just another whole process. I don't want to really do it. We'll pull the side panels off that go between the the quarter window and the back window out, but we'll keep it from going all the way to the top. Now we don't have to worry about fire up in there. So let's show you what we got, and then we'll go back to start priming and get the primer on the trunk lid. Hi, and welcome to Mike's Custom Garage. Okay, as you can see, I've taken the trim off the side here. I was looking into taking these off. Honestly, they're not coming right off. The screws are out, they don't want to move, and not worth destroying them to take them off. I'll leave them on, and we'll see if we can get around it. If I can't get around it, I'll have to take them off. We'll worry about that later. But as you can see, the seats are in this. They need to come out. And what I want to do is make sure that this body line stays where it needs to be. Now, the taillight panel is getting replaced anyhow, so I'm not too worried about back there, but I want this quarter to be in the right location. So we're going to prime that trunk lid, put it back on, make sure it fits perfectly where I want it. And then we'll come back in and take the quarter off. So let's get to it. We'll go get some primer going. Okay, we've got it stripped out, seats out. That seat's button bolted, just gotta pull it out. Rear seat's out, glass is out, the trim is off it. We're ready to start cutting this thing. Now what we have, get real close here. You can see the welds. One there, one here, one here. They're about every 1.5 inches apart going down this whole post. They go across here, you can see them. What we're going to do is use the belt sander and grind off the fronts of the weld and not going through to the other side. And then we'll take an air chisel, take off what we don't want across, around, and get out like the majority of it. And then we'll come back and we'll do a nice cleanup on the edges here. So first thing we'll do is just buzz off the outside quarter panel that we don't want, which is all of this junk. I don't want to get into the headliner area, which is right here, because I really don't want to put a hole in the headliner and have to replace it. So we're going to cut lower, and we're going to section the quarter panel in here. somewhere. Now I'll make sure I'm just below the headliner on the inside, and that's where we're going to cut it. Say if I go up into here, you're going to get into messing with the headliner. I don't want to be putting another headliner in it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut off the junk we don't want initially, and then we're going to clean it all up. Now once the outer quarter is off, we'll jump in and do the outer wheelhouse. And we'll take that off, and then we'll look at the new ones and put them all back together. So let's get to cutting. Okay, there you have it. That's why I cut it. It gave me some room to work. Now this piece is off. I'll do some cleaning up here, and I'll move on to the rest. All right, so it's a good look now. What we're gonna do is gonna grind up the rest of these welds and get this piece off. Carefully use the air chisel across the bottom, but see, as you can see, I gotta grind off all the welds on that. We're gonna cut the wheelhouse out, and basically I'm just gonna cut it right along this edge here, clean it all up, and put the new one in. Gotta go behind this panel and this panel. So we'll have to make sure we can get behind there and clean all that up. And then we've got to cut it up in here. I'm going to grind it up down and see exactly where the line is. Do a nice job cutting this. It looks like it goes under this panel, so we have to slide it under, put this panel over. Taillight panel is not really a concern. We're going to replace that one. This one's got a big bend in it right down in here. And a lot of rust there, so we're going to clean that up. And we're going to clean up all this edge here going across the bottom. So I'm going to clean all this up. Then a lot of it just be the same thing you saw, grinding it, air chiseling it, getting it off. Then we'll come back and see what we got. We'll video the cutting this off and cleaning it up, I guess. We'll see. I gotta jack the car up, take the tire off this side so I got a little more room to work in. So, it's a few things to do. Then we'll clean up all of this in here and get this nice and clean. Put some rust converter on it so it doesn't come back. So yeah, let's get this cleaned up and then we'll come back. Okay, so we've got the quarter off, we've got the wheelhouse off. We're going to do a little bit of patchwork at the bottom of the inner wheelhouse down here. I'm going to make a piece for that and make a piece for the bottom of the trunk floor here going down. So we'll have to make a couple pieces. They're not really that hard, that big a deal to do. Another thing I have to do is the wheelhouse came and it's bent like this. Well, this lower piece needs to be flat. It goes the other way. So I cut that right there. I'm going to bend that flat, and then this thing will fit in where it needs to be. So when you do it using aftermarket parts, you can't count on them always being identical. So you have to do a little bit of finagling to make it work, but everything else is cleaned up. Everything else looks good. And we'll test fit that outer wheelhouse. We won't weld it on, we'll just fit it on. We'll make sure that the inner is repaired and the downside there for the trunk floor is repaired, and then we'll put this outer piece on and put the quarter on. So one step at a time, we'll get her done. Place this piece here. It's got some holes in it along the edges. I cut a piece a 90 degree. Not that one. Oh, sharp. Okay, that's gonna go like this. What I want to do now is I'm gonna mark this side where the bend is. Let's see if I can get you back there. Okay, there we go. See that bend right there? I want to mark that bend. Okay, as you can see, I marked the bend and I marked it along the straight edge. We're going to cut that piece off, and then we're going to bend this flat edge up around this bend here and weld it together. Okay, we cut that off. We're going to bend this around nice and then put a weld in it. And this will go in. Let's get your, oops, there we go. That'll go replace this piece. I'll cut off that and we'll put this one on. The front edge here, did this off camera. You can see the rust in here. It's got a hole missing. I made a little patch here. And that'll go right in there. And that'll take care of the rust on there. All right, for this piece here, as you see, it has a little bevel in there. We duplicated that with this piece of metal. So that'll go in there. And we gotta do see the marks I have there. I'll put the ribs back in it that you see. So there's one gonna be there and the other one there. And then we'll cut this off wherever it meets at the end. Then we gotta stick a little hole in there for the drain. And that plug is this one here. So we'll make sure that fits nice and tight. So yeah, we'll put some bends in there on both those, and we'll get this piece put in. Okay, I did a couple of these before I started taping. Obviously wanted to see how it was going to come out, but it came out. I did a round here and I did a wedge here. So we're going to do another wedge down here. I marked it. And I put this little wedge right on the line that I wanted. Centered it in the vise and maybe one more hit. And there you have it. Nice little V. I'm gonna do a little trimming on it and make sure it fits nice. Take this off so I got room in there and get everything fit where it's supposed to be. The old one's here so I know heights about where it needs to be. We'll mark it, we'll cut this off, and then we can weld this new piece on. Okay, what I did is put the wheelhouse back in its location because I couldn't tell if I was the right height here or not. I had to bend this up so that the quarter will fit under it. I had to bend the quarter up over here so that it'll go over this. Now these have to come back down once I'm fine tuning everything, but for now it's just for fitment. Once I get this in, I can fit those patch panels I made and make sure they're in the right location. Okay, so the corner's on, pretty close to where it needs to be. It's a little high because it's on top of this panel. It should be even with it. That's fine. It's around here where it needs to be. I put the patches in that need to be put in there. What we'll do now is clamp them onto the old panels so I'll have exactly where I want to make a cut. I tell you what, that ain't no joke, man. That thing is on there. Okay, so I got 2 clamps on the bottom. I'll clamp it up here and make a line. Okay, as you can see, it's cut. Cut that rust off. We'll put this in. We'll line up the lines close as we can to them and tack weld this piece in. Okay, well, that's about best I can set you up for that to keep you in view. All I'll do is tack it on here first. Then here. Okay, well, it's tack welded in place. We're gonna finish welding this up, dress it up, and then we will put the next patch in, which will be this corner patch. So we'll cut that out and get that in next. But we'll finish up the welding here and then move on. Okay, guys, there's the lower panel all welded in. That's good. I ground it down flat. It's like, of course, there's the edge from the other panel. It is what it is. It's definitely solid now. Looks good. We're gonna put this piece in next. So let's set you up. Let's get that in. And for this little triangle piece, I just made a piece bigger than I need. I'll weld it in, and then I'll trim it to fit. So we'll just tack that in. Okay, there you have it. That piece is all in. This is in good shape now. Next thing we're going to want to do is put a little piece in the back on, and then we can jump onto the wheelhouse. So, yeah, it's coming together slow, but it's coming. After the wheelhouse, we're going to want to paint all in here. So we'll clean up all this rust. We'll clean up all we can in here, and we're going to want to put some primer on all this. Obviously the factory didn't have primer on it, but we could put some on and help slow down any possible rust in the future. So let's do this piece next. Okay, I welded in the last corner piece right there. So now all of these pieces are all welded in. Next we want to do is put the wheelhouse, the outer wheelhouse on. So we'll set you up and get to that. First thing I'm going to do is put a bunch of holes in this for plug welds. I've got my hole punch already set up. peeled off the sticker. Guys, take the stickers off. It looks nasty. And they're really hard to get off after. You know what? I'll put holes in this before I put that on too. Weld it in, I'll have to put a couple holes going up just to weld it up into here, up into there. So, all right, let's get this on. Okay, now this is all in place. It's all in place. We're gonna give it one last fit with the quarter panel. Make sure we like where this is, and if this is all good, we'll start welding this in. Okay, I think we're gonna be good there. I'm gonna let it go. I just tap that in that way, just a touch. We're just feeling the inside edge, make sure it's smooth going across. I think we're good. Let's weld this up. Okay, now I'll just clean up the welds. I'll get little wires and stuff hanging off them, so not much to clean really. Okay, I kind of missed that one, so we'll go back and fix it. That's better. Next we gotta do, we're gonna take the window crank out, and we're gonna clean up all of this best we can, and then we're gonna undercoat it. So let's get this window crank out and let's get cleaning up. I don't know if you can even see it. Oh, there's the window crank. We're gonna take that out. Then we'll clean up some of the surface rust. And we'll put some metal conditioner on it, or some metal converter on it. And then that'll probably be it for now. So let's just get that done and move on. Okay, so we got this done. I looked for some rust converter. I don't seem to have any anymore, so I'll have to go pick some more up. But we're gonna end this video right here. We didn't get the quarter on. I was hoping we would, but I'm just out of time, and I gotta get a video out this week. So we're gonna hit out what we have. When we come back, we'll get this all rust converted. We'll get everything over that undercoated. We'll get all the back here undercoated, and then we can put the quarter on. So I don't want to do any of that. I want to make sure everything's undercoated before we put the quarter on, because you ain't gonna get back in here again. So yeah, that's what we have. So we made some progress. We'll be in between this and jumping on the Mustang in between here and there, and other stuff we got going on. So we still got a lot to go. So we're gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, notifications, leave a comment, all that good stuff to tell you to do. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.